Hello. Hi, everyone. Ooh, it feels like a hot minute since I've been here. Wow, it's insane. Hello, Internet. I haven't been online for, I think, about a while, like 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks. I've been online like through video, but not live. And it's been just such a beautiful journey being able to be here and disconnect. So, hello, let me know where you're listening from. And today we're just chit chatting. If this is your first time meeting me, I'm Shika. And this is a space of community. It's a space of healing. It's a space of shadow work. It's a space of guidance. It's a space of learning how to be your best healer. And I just came back from the Amazon, which some of you already know. And it's been an insane experience. Insane experience. Probably one of the deepest healings. Hi, Gabrielle. So nice to see you. I miss you, love. It's been one of the most deepest healings I've ever had in my life. I have 2 vlogs coming out for you guys that are vlogging the 14 days with me. Honestly, it helped me so much. I thought, I really want to take this in, and whenever I feel called to just do a video journal, I'm going to do it. And by the end of it, I was like, I feel like sharing this. Like, it feels from my heart to share this experience, share this healing with you all, and just see us, see the purpose and the amount of connection we all have in spirit and soul and our being, and how we're all connected, from every experience we have, every belief that we have, everything is interconnected. And remembering to connect with the earth energy, which was something that was a big download I want to share. And that's why I want to do a reading today. I'm going to do a reading for you all. And it's just going to be going over the transition from now to Leo season, which we're in. Hi, Tiffany. Hey, Liz. Hello. Hey, from South Africa. Let me know where you're tuning in from, fam. Let me know if you feel called to share this video with friends and family, feel free to, because hello, Naima. Hello. So I don't even know where to start, honestly. Wisconsin, Northern California, amazing. Austin, Texas. Awesome. Texas again. So Texas in the house. That's amazing. Charlotte. Hello. Yeah, so I don't even know. I went to Greece, which you guys probably saw if you're on my Instagram. That's where I update the most, if anything. And I did my breathwork practice. And yeah, yay, so excited. Leo season. I'm a Leo rising, amazing. I'm a Leo moon. I don't know if there's anyone else who's Leo. Let me know in the comments or here. Florida, amazing. Are you a Leo? Let me know. Good morning. Actually, Grand Rising, I'm changing my word dialect. Grand Rising is more energetically aligned. When we say good morning, it's saying we are mourning something. We are enjoying to mourn. So, like, we don't understand the words, and it's called word. People call it word magic, but the words that you use has a meaning to it, right? So, for example, one thing I'm changing in my meditations, I don't know if you guys have noticed, I don't use the word release. The reason why I don't use that word is because it's telling you to lease something. You're not actually letting go of something. You're keeping it in, and that's not, we're dissolving it. We're letting it go. We're no longer feeling like that thing serves us anymore. So notice the words you use every day when you're doing your healing. It's a big lesson that I want to share with you guys. The words you do when you're doing your healing, when you're doing talking to friends, talking to family, what words are you using? Because that makes such a big shift of our healing, our habits, our perspective, our medicine, all of that. So yeah, that's just something I want to teach you guys is use dissolve, use let go. And instead of saying, that, instead say grand rising in the early parts of the day, and also saying hi. Like, those are some great things. So grand rising, my morning voice. Grim rising to you. I love it. I'll definitely use it from this phrase. Yeah, it's interesting. And like, I don't know if there's a word that maybe you use all the time, or maybe when you're at your lowest point, is there a word or an energy that you use, especially as we go into Leo, because Leo is fire. We're igniting things in our life. We're creating, we also have the 8-8 portal that's starting. And I'm going to have a video coming out on that, what the 8-8 portal means. I'm going to also do a meditation for you, love, so you guys can have that to really tune into that medicine. And it's one of my favorite times of the year. I'm a Leo moon, so I love, love, love it. And it's going to affect everyone, no matter if you have a Leo or not placement. It will affect you. And if you want to learn more about the new moon that's coming up, you can go check it out on my video. I just posted, and I have a meditations for you guys as well that you can do 3 days before, the day out, and 3 days after. Hey, New York. So yeah, let's tune into just chatting/reading. And if you guys have questions, let me know, because I haven't been able to answer. So if you have a question, put it in the comment section and just say hashtag Q&A live, and then I will answer it. Any question you have. If you have a question about my master plan, if you have a question about my healing, if you have a question about my routine, what I do, if you have a question about your own self or perspective that you've been getting, and maybe that will help people who are watching this, let me know. But just put a question and I will answer. Some things to share as well. Good morning. I mean, Grand Rising, switching it, Kelly. Grand Rising, try to shift the words because if it feels like it aligns to you. So this Leo season, I'm going to go into it, but first let's open the space. So open space, we're calling in all of our benevolent guides, ancestors, angels, and cosmic family to come into the space. And allowing them to bring any messages that are meant for us. We're activating all areas, all locations. So we're doing the south, north, east, and west, calling them into the space, thanking Pachamama, thanking Father Sky for the cosmic connection that we have, and allowing us to be a vessel, a grounding space to connect with the other dimensions and the earth energy, Pachamama, knowing that this is for our highest and best good, and allowing whatever reading and cards that come out to allow us to guide us into this Leo season and to open for more clarity and perspective and lessons. We thank you, Aho. So open the space. Let's get into some reading. So if you checked out my video, again, I'm not going to go over a lot of the things. I'm going to go over some new stuff that came up and then kind of coming from there. So there is this like craving that I feel for a lot of people during this Leo season to kind of really look at living up, highlighting your life, like lighting up your life. And the analogy that came through when I was tuning into Leo was that it was like almost like you have this fire pit and the fire is starting and you're camping, you know, when you start to create a fire. And there's like fire starting to burn underneath the smaller sticks, just at that bottom part. And as it starts to activate, what happens when there is more air and when the elements come together, so the air comes into that fire, it creates more fire, right? So air element is all about flow. Okay, we're looking at the feminine here. We're looking at, and it works so well with the 888 portal. We're looking at tapping into the feminine, and everyone has a feminine. Doesn't matter gender. We all have feminine. We all have goddess energy. There is a feminine essence in all of us. So when we tap into that air, I want you to ask yourself as you step into this Leo season, what are some ways that I can allow myself to be at ease? I can allow myself to be at flow. So control comes up in power. That was a huge lesson in my personal healing and also for the collective as I stepped into ceremony for 2 weeks in the jungle isolated. Okay. And the biggest thing that came up for me there was that how much are we wanting to control the experience we have in our life as opposed to allowing ourselves to flow, to tap into the space of being and let that be our power. So, a great example of that is if you are going in any change in your life. So, let's say that you're about to embark change, or maybe you're thinking of inviting change. So, maybe this summer, this Leo season brings a lot of excitement and tapping into, where do I want to live? Is that something that resonates with me? Maybe connecting with friends again is recognizing, oh, these relationships are fueling my soul. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe they're not fueling it. Maybe there's not as much air in those relationships, right? Another aspect as well is maybe you're looking to longing a new beginning when it comes into stepping into the power that we want in our own self. A lot of people want power, but when they get it, they give it away. A lot of people, a lot of souls want power. And they think that control is power, right? So if you ever have a situation or circumstance, Grand Rising, Grand Rising, if you ever have a circumstance where you feel that you are thinking and overthinking and you are structuring the outcome of your change, you are not in alignment. Okay? This is going to be something I want to explain. So, for example, if you want to move, but you are constantly thinking about the details of it and stressing about all those things, what's going to happen is the fear is going to manifest. And instead of fire, we're going to bring ourselves to no air, into that essence, the element of air, the element of wanting, the element of knowing that you can receive what you're receiving, right? So, control, when we're in control, we are not open to receive. We're not open to receive manifestation. We're not open to receive love. We're not open to receive change. We're not open to all those things. However, again, the positive thing about that is now that you know that, you can ask yourself as a shadow work prompt, what ways do I reject receiving? What ways do I reject receiving in my relationships? So this could be as easy if someone sees you struggling bringing groceries and you're like, no, 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 I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. Right? How many times do we do that? I'm good, I'm good. If someone asks and actually puts out help and you feel that you need to do it yourself, where does that belief come from? Did you have to grow up a little bit quicker as a younger being, as a younger soul? Have you been betrayed in the past? Right? And then that fire is actually anger, is actually resistance. It's not fire from that heart, which we know Leo is the sign that they wear their heart on their sleeve, right? So there's a lot of tapping into heart to sacral in this Leo energy. It's about tapping into the sensual energy. And there's a difference with sensual being. What do I want to cultivate? Like we are created by Pachamama. It's earth. It is sensual. Pachamama, earth energy is a central space. It's holding us fully. How much do we not want to be hold? That sensuality too. That's a huge download. So if you're rejecting holding, my question to you is how are you opening in your sensual activation, your sacral? Do you feel safe in your sensuality? And to define sensuality, what does that mean? Sensuality is the feeling of being and receiving that being and receiving the light force energy that that being has in themselves. That is sensuality. Sensuality isn't, you know, being this person that like wears lingerie and all those things. Before we get into that, it's the energy that activates that being. So our society thinks sensuality is sexual. It's not, right? Sensuality comes before sexuality. So I want you to tap into that. You're Leo. How can you be more open to receive, to be held in this beautiful being that you are of creation? You have the opportunity in this Leo season to create, to cultivate, to have a blank canvas and to paint what you want to paint, to make it messy, to, voice it, to explore where it is and how you want to activate it. But again, are you open to receive your own mirror of sensuality? Are you open to receive that? So, going back to that first point, how are you controlling receiving? How are you controlling in your life? So, I'm going to put out a card here. We're going to pull out one card because I'm like going on channeling. If I want to get on these videos, I channel so much. So, I'm like, oh, yeah, card reading. I feel like it's almost like at the beginning of when I used to do card readings, I used to rely a lot on cards. I don't know if anyone else resonates with this, but when you do card pulls, you really know the difference when you don't have to rely on crystals, when you don't have to rely on Palo Santo, when you don't have to rely on objects, materialistic things, and you know that your power is in you and you activate the cards, you activate the crystals, you activate the Palo Santo, right? So for me, it's always this knowing that I can channel. These are tools, but don't rely on them, right? So just want to share that with you. So let's see what card we have for controlling and releasing, dissolving, 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 dissolving. Okay, well, we got a lot of stuff here. We got 4 cards. Okay, I'm going to go with the 2 ones. Breathe. Let's take a moment to breathe, to be in our body. We have 2-9 here. When we add that together, that is 11. 11 is the number of new beginnings, new relationships, new ways of thinking. That's a huge one with the 11. Patience, waiting, and slowly wellness, meditation, and trust. Patience in all the things that we call for the right now. What do you need to do when you're in a rush? So this is kind of, this card, TikTok, is just a representation of where you are. I want you to ask yourself, what are you rushing to seed? Right? When we look at a garden and we plant it into the earth, hello, all the people who just joined, hello, so nice to see you. When we plant it into the earth, what happens? We gotta wait. And it's funny when we nurture the garden and we don't expect it to create flowers or fruits or vegetables at a certain time, it actually grows faster because we're not staring at it and giving it pressure to be at a certain place. And that's why I don't do goals. I don't like the words goals. We're talking about words here. So goals, why? Because when we say goals, we're setting ourselves up that if we don't achieve that, that we've failed. And when we do that in a way, we see that failure is considered bad, right? But when we say intentions and we don't succeed on something, we know that intentions are more in the feminine essence. Goal is very masculine. You know, that you can have a goal, that's fine. You can have a goal to do this or whatever. But what I've noticed is the energy when you say goal, it's like I need to get this thing or else. When you say intention, it's like I am creating, I'm putting my energy into something. So if I fail at it, I fail at it. And I just know that now I know that I never, if I didn't do it, I wouldn't know it wouldn't work. And now I can move that energy into something else and I can create it somewhere else and start something new. So this is all about what things are you pressuring yourself to do? Because the Leo is going to give us this rush of energy. Some of you are going to be like, I want to do 110 things. You know, Virgos, you're going to be like, I want to do 100 perfect things. Cancers, you're going to want to help people, nurture. You want to nurture, constantly nurturing because now you have the energy. Oh, I can do more things for people now. But sometimes we need to breathe and find a state of being. So in this fire, how can I find a space of being? How can I find a space of being? That's huge. Take that in. When I'm busy, when the kids are bothering me, when I'm at work and I have a deadline, when I have 110 things to do before a certain time, all those human experiences, our spirit, we need to connect with that. So how can I connect with my spirit to be in a state of being, right? How can I stand in the fire and find peace? A lot of us run away from it, but sometimes that fire can be, you know, so in a space of tapping in and opening up something deeper. Okay. So that's really huge. I want to share that. Um, so breathe. That was the biggest things. Humans cannot exist without breathing. One of the things I want to share with you is breath is spirit. That's what breath means. What happens when you don't breathe? You're not here in this 3D dimension. So notice that when you don't breathe, if you're anxious, if you're stressed, what do? Your breath changes because your spirit changes. Your spirit is doing something that is not in alignment of itself, right? So I think that is something to really, really shift. We're going to move this Bill Dibby out of here and block this person. Awesome. Because we don't do that here. We don't do that here. And we don't invite that. Perfect. Awesome. So going back energetically, now is the time to allow the life-giving element of the air to replenish your body, being, and your very essence. Your very essence. How can I tap into that? How can I tap into that space? Right? We've hid Billy. Billy's gone. It's interesting when we're in our light, then people come in and they try to notice that when our fire comes in, when our confidence comes in, people want to, you're like, no. But when you say your no, they're gone. So goodbye, Bill. Stop to smell the roses and breathe in the sunlight and release the darkness and the miracles that will appear. So I remember someone told me that when they're anxious, they start to breathe quickly. And a lot of the times your breath changes where you breathe in through the mouth and out through the mouth, right? So when you breathe in through the mouth, out through the mouth, what happens? What happens? You are activating your sympathetic system. Sympathetic system is your fight or flight. It's you feeling unsafe. So this card is really saying, notice your breathing in this time of fire as the air comes in, as you're being called to be more in your power, to really let go of that. I think that's huge. The other thing is never ending story. So here it's about letting go of that never ending story that we need to tap into, right? Letting it all go. Letting it all go. It's huge. So let it go and allowing ourselves to do so. Prosperity. I'm going to read the prosperity message because Leo is going to activate abundance. And I'm going to go into this in a little bit more. Okay. So you have worked long and hard. Your dreams are coming to fruition and you want to hurry things up. TikTok, this card. You are slow on moving your whole space, your progression right now, and the rhythm of dictating the authentic nature, the essence of the dream will of the universe. Slow and steady wins the race. So remembering the tortoise, right? When we can go really slow and tune into that slowness into our life, magic happens, right? So this Leo season is asking you, how can I slow down? It's almost like we're creating this energy and we're just waiting for the moment. Like a lot of my soul family has been saying, Shika, I feel like something big is going to happen. Something huge is going to happen. I don't know what it is, but something really big is going to happen in my life. And I feel it. And I don't know if any of you resonate with that. If you do, put a heart emoji in the comments. But if you feel like something is going to happen, why would you stop it and control your state of being in this moment? Right? It is exciting, Midwest. Yeah, it's so exciting. It's so, so exciting. So tap into that. And happiness is the other card that we have here. Okay. So be happy. Step into your happiness. Step into who you are. Step into the happiness of being yourself and where you want to be. Because at the end of the day, you can't control your happiness, right? Money doesn't buy happiness. Nothing buys happiness. Mm, I love that. I love it so, so much. Let me know if this is resonating. I'm reading comments. It's so crazy how fast the moons are coming around. I know. I was just thinking about that, Virgo Bliss. It's almost like the moons are like, because we're doing such deep work and healing and we're more conscious, it's like this detachment of time and things are really all in one. And that was a big thing that I learned was that, you know, we are the people that choose our reality. So I miss happiness. You can choose right now to miss it and say, miss it. But what can I do in this time to shift just a one step forward to shift my happiness, to tap into that? And I think that's something that we need to really honor and tap into. Ooh, so much beauty, so much love, so much activation coming into the space. I love it so much. We're having such really interesting people that are tapping into this reading. Again, I might have to stop this live because there is some weird energy that is here and me no gusta. Okay, so next one that I want to pull out for the last final thing before I close the space. Big part with Leo is it will also fire out and trigger a lot of the places where we don't feel safe in our sensuality, sexuality. Okay. It's going to trigger it. How often should I do shadow work? Great question. So, whenever it comes up, there's no control of that, right? It's whenever you want to and tap into it, right? I love that. It's like, no, that's what they want. So I think one of the biggest things with shadow work is that you are doing it every day more than you know. So there are moments in our day where we want to, where our emotions change so much. And those are opportunities for us to sit and that card that I had before, let me pull it back out. I don't know why I put it back. Breathe, to breathe into that space and notice what emotion is coming up from that. So, my question to you is how can you breathe and tap into that? Breathe, breathe, and tap into that. That's so important. And let's move into ancestors because I feel like the ancestors are tuning in and we're going to call in benevolent ancestors for protection, holding space for us here. Let's see, what do we have? Oh my gosh. Oh, I know. It's part of the game. Being on YouTube, it's part of it. It's so interesting though. I get comments and I love sharing with you guys. Always. I feel like I have this space in my space in my healing that it's almost like and I had this in my healing like in my master plan, step into your power. And let me tell you, there are so many powerful people. And the moment you step into your light, there's going to be a lot of people that want you to not be there, right? So it's just part of that. It's part of life that you have to accept that when you step and choose yourself, there are going to be a lot of people who don't want you to be in that, right? And that's where the Leo comes in. It's like when you choose yourself, people are going to be like, no, I don't want you to be happy. I don't want you to be in your light. And for all those haters, I can say that I feel bad for you. I really do. I honestly like when I see those comments, I'm like, I want to send you love because humans aren't hateful. What makes humans hateful is that they have this experience that makes them, yes, all the time, all the time. Your voice is your power. You have this experience, this opportunity to speak your voice. And one of the biggest things that one of the tribe chiefs said is that your voice is your power. What's happening right now in the world? I want to talk about this because this is coming up. And Spirit told me, they're like, Shika, you got to speak this to community. So I'm going to speak about this and be open. Okay, there's a lot of things happening in the world right now. And everything from our food, which I'm thinking of making a community for this that is not on social media, like maybe Telegram or perhaps on Patreon, and doing that again, because there's a lot of truth I want to share. The first thing I want to share is that there's a lot of disconnection happening behind the world. Here we go. See, as soon as I start talking about truth, there's another person trying to stop that. So truth here is that there's a lot of people that don't want us to be connected, that don't want us to be doing this healing work, that don't want us to be holding the space, that don't want you to do your shadow work, right? Because what happens when someone is in the space of control? Other people think that they can take your power, right? And that was something that was a big ancestral shift for me. It was like, no, 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 you're not taking it. I'm going to say no to you. You think you can, but you can't. So there's a lot of things happening that is not being talked about Pachamama, deforestation that's going on that I want to talk about. Again, I know I'm a spiritual, but this means a lot to us because we eat, right? Food. What do? You eat food. And I'm just sharing this because I want you all to bring love into the collective and tune into what can I do in my own life and community. And I'll share some tips that you can do to help you with this. So there's a lot of deforestation. There's a lot of everything that's been going on the two over years. Yeah, what's been going on? Disconnection of human connection, which is why Spirit wants me to do more retreats because people need to be reconnected. We need to connect again. What happens when a baby does not be held, does not have love? They can't survive, right? Or they feel like they can't survive. So this is one of the biggest things I want to share with you. I want you to be more aware and ask yourself, how can I take off the rose gold glasses and see what's going on in my world that's also being, shifted in the world all in all. So Leo is going to be an interesting month, guys. It's going to be a huge month of fiery kind of energy. I have a feeling, and I'm just going to put it out there because it's coming up for me just talking here and all this interesting stuff that's going on. There's going to be maybe possibly more protests coming up because people want to use their voice. They're feeling resisted. There is going to be that fiery energy on a collective level where people are going to start coming up with more truths. That's going to happen. More truths are going to be happening. We're going to start to see people that we looked up to that actually have been feeding into that space. So be mindful, be open to see truth, be open to be in that space of power in yourself, to just witness and breathe and find your state of being to see what is not in that alignment of energy. That's huge. So I just want to share that because that's coming up so much that we need collectiveness, we need connection. And if you guys have any ideas of ways that we can create more depth in our community here, please let me know in the chat. If there's something that you would like to have that would help you. I know some people do ecstatic dance groups. I know when I go back to Canada, I'm going to be probably hosting a lot more community stuff in person. I'm being called to do that. I'm still going to do online. I'll still be here, of course, but I'm going to add that as well. So what are some ways right now that your soul is yearning, your spirit is yearning for connection, deeper connection in your life? This could just start with your love life. This can just start in your friendship and start to notice what emotions are coming up. Heal while you're here. We push love and light, liberation. Negative thoughts and emotions, 100%. I'm just reading all of your comments. Yes, yes. Okay. So I just wanted to share that with you all because that was coming up so deeply. And I was like, Spirit's like, say it, speak it. I'm like, okay. There's a lot of truth happening in this world. And unfortunately, people don't want you to succeed. And Leo is an opportunity for you to reactivate that and take your power back. Take your power back. Yes, dance class is a vogue technique. I have so much fun. It definitely calms me down. I danced this morning. It was so good. I did a meditation and then I did some dancing and it was so amazing, like so amazing. I'm so happy you asked that, Gabrielle. I have great news to share in a bit. What else did you ask? I would love to do moon rituals and have beautiful souls. Feeling that? I'm feeling moon rituals. Would you guys be down? Put a moon emoji if I were down below in the comments in here. If I were to do like a monthly moon live, like I'll still do the meditation. I'll still do the energy update. But if we did like a ritual together via Zoom and it was like every month you get a ritual that you get to do and it's an experience for you. So this is everything from what crystals you can use to what shadow work prompts. Would you be down? Would you sign up for that? Question. Okay. Exciting. Okay, Elder, move beyond the ancestral patterns. Can we just talk about this? Can we just talk about this? Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, I love it. Okay. So stay tuned, guys. Make sure you subscribe and you're here so you can keep in tune because I'll be announcing it. Some exciting things. And you just confirmed something that I've been downloading and getting a channeled message from. And then, yeah, I still see your moon emoji. Thanks for letting me know. Okay. So Elder, let's go into Elder and what that means. I feel my elders. I feel like spirits just so this time in my life, I feel so connected. It feels amazing. I don't know if anyone else feels the same. Okay, so this is the elder card. I love this card. Move beyond the limitations that have been set from your family members, past and present, and know the energy of your spirit is more powerful than the genetics of your behavioral pattern. Not only did they take the power back, but I slapped them in the face with, with my power and walked off like I will. I love that. I love that. Yes. Don't even slap them in the face. Just give them love because honestly, when people are in that space where they're in hate, if you throw love at them, they can't stay there. They just have to be in love and then they shift. They start crying. They start breaking down because they're in pain. Right. So shift your mind from fighting to being a warrior energy. That was something that Campo taught me when I got initiated, and I'm grateful to be a medicine carrier of it, is holding that space. I'm going to go over this card, and then Gabby, I'm going to actually answer your question. So just put the question back at the bottom of the chat because we have some activity, so I remember. But I saw that, and I have something I want to share, exciting announcement. Okay, first thing. So Aboriginal people are the oldest tribal people still living on the planet. They are hunters, gatherers as a result, and ancient spirituality are rooted in tradition and balance with the earth. So Aboriginal ancestors are offering you not only wisdom that is here for you, but also the adapting of ever changing the planet. So let's just talk about this. It's no coincidence that we had all of this energy that was coming up, and then this card came up. So this is just a reminder that what has your ancestors gone through? A lot of us have been, I know, because I've connected with a lot of you one-on-one, a lot of you have said that you've had this feeling that you cannot ask questions to your family about lineage, ancestral healing. This resonates with you, let me know. But you've ever had this experience where you want to know about your lineage, you want to know about where you come from, or maybe there's a fear because you know your history of your lineage is, dark, if you can say that, or not viewed as pleasant or happy. So knowing that your power is seeing it, looking at it in the eye and saying that I'm ready to know that this is not going to be my story. This is not my story. It is being able to recognize the past and knowing what are you going to do to change it? How are you going to change the planet in your path and your soul purpose with that? Understanding what the spiritual life is for you. not rewriting the patterns. So for example, I'm going to take myself for an example. When I did my plant medicine Dieta, one of the biggest things that came up was the feeling that the power was taken away. It's just funny how those things happened when I'm on the live. So it's like, yeah, you stay in your power. You stay in your power. One of my favorite things I heard is Nelson Mandela. He said that he was in his, if you know about Nelson Mandela, I'll just share this part of his story. The day that he got his award, he invited all of the guards that treated him and beated him when he was in jail. He invited them to sit front row in one of his awards. And he looked at them and he said, "Thank you." He said, I want to, he hugged them, handshake them, and he came from love. That is warrior energy. I'm not saying what they did is right, but what I'm saying is, does it make sense to repeat something, repeat pain again and again? And that's again what we're seeing collectively. They want us to repeat pain because if you repeat pain, you're in control. You're trying to control something instead of being in your power. So your ancestors are here saying that you got to listen to stepping into power. I see broken by family. Your family's not broken. Stop thinking and being a victim that your family is broken for divorce. That is something that you can tap into for shadow work and healing. How can I move from my family's broken to this wasn't aligned and now our family is free and I have the power to decide what I want to redefine family to be. I want to have the fire to step into that space. No one talks about past my family. Yeah, same. So true. It's something that repeats. It resonates asking my father questions that bring up pain from his childhood that I feel guilty and wanting to know, and I need some new ways and answers to seek. So I will say, when I do healings with a lot of people, a lot of the times, one of the biggest things that come up, there's two things I'm going to say. I'm going to answer your question, Tanya, and then I'm also going to tune into what you just shared. So the first thing I want to share with you is that resonating that you have the opportunity to see the codes of what happened in your family lineage. Okay, there are other ways. Some people, when they go through ex relationships, they think they have to go contact their ex to heal something. No. We don't have to do that, right? You can actually tune in. You have your gifts to tune into the story of your father, because at the end of the day, we also have some imprints. We have ancestral imprints, which is why if you are really interested in ancestral healing, I have a retreat I'm doing in December in St. Lucia. And I think it might be really helpful. If anyone's interested, DM me on Instagram or email me through my website. I have all the information on retreats coming up. But what I'm feeling is, if you feel called for ancestral, this is going to be really powerful. It is a medicine ceremony we're going to be doing for 7 days. And we're learning how to rewrite our story. And we're also learning how to team up with our ancestors to give them permission as well in spirit. Beautiful magic that's going to happen. My ears are burning, which means there's a lot of energy. Okay, Gabrielle, your question. I'm going to go to that because before we keep talking. Would you ever host a Madre retreat? She's calling me for the past couple of reasons and days. So that's really funny because I was in a medicine retreat and I was working with Madre. I am actually going to share this deeper, but I am opening up 5 souls that are interested in working on a master plant dieta with me in the jungle of Peru next year. I will be working with the Shipibo tribe in Iquitos, in 3 hours away from Iquitos in the Amazon. So if you've been wanting to work with Madre, if you've been wanting to work with Aya, if you've been wanting to work with the medicine, if you've been wanting to heal, it is my duty as a space holder, as a person here with you, to be doing my own work, because how can I support you if I'm not doing my work? So there's a lot of work I do that I don't talk about. I don't share every video of what work I do. I have a lot of people who support me. So if you are interested, message me on Instagram and I can get a group together. It's nothing fancy. If you're looking for a resort experience, this is not for you. This is full on jungle experience in a casita. and with a family that have so much love in what they're working with. I'm actually going to be doing a really exciting fundraiser coming up to help them out because they are making a maloka. And a maloka is where you have the ceremony and they need support. So working with the maestras there to help and support them. They are my family. They're people. They have such love. So again, if you are interested, Gabby, if you seems like you're interested, message me, and I can give you information on that and pricing and all of that. But yeah, we'll be coming together and getting to experience this for 2 weeks. And you also do a master plant for the 2 weeks, which means there is a plant that gets channeled that you work with in solitude. And it is very powerful healing. You also have 6 ceremonies with Aya. So again, if that's something that you're interested in, message me on Instagram or DM or message me through my website, whatever is best for you. Same with the retreats. That information is all in the description if you're interested in that. DM me because I have the retreat in Peru that's happening on August 7th, retreat in Canada that's happening at the end of September, and Healers Retreat in October. And my last retreat of the year is going to be the Ancestral retreat in St. Lucia. So again, if that's something that you're interested in, let me know. Reach out. Thank you. We'll stay connected. Yay. I try to channel some from my grandmother to help me. And I'm always calling out. I'm always calling out to them. That's amazing. Call out. They want to help, especially in spirit. They're more open to help. So much more open to help. It's crazy. There was another question, and I think if there's any other questions, let me know, by the way. Just put hashtag Q&A. I don't know who my ancestors are, and I've asked to meet them, that they've not revealed themselves. And that's okay. Maybe they need some time, and maybe, not because you have to see them means that they're not supporting you. They are still there. I think I had this idea when I started doing healing, and I think we all do, where we need to see our ancestors. We need to see something. We need to have a vision for us to think that our guides are there. It's like we're feeling this feeling like, am I actually supported? But then when we let go of that control of expecting them to have a vision and to have this experience, we actually give ourselves permission and them permission to support us more. So that's huge. I was just saying next year I wanted to have this experience. I'll DM you. Amazing, Gabby. Yay. Yeah. So 5 people. If there's more, that's fine. But I feel like 5 is the number that's coming up. If you're interested, message me. We'll fly together. They'll take care of us, and it's gonna be such a beautiful thing. 444, the Child Emperor. Yeah, I know. So great. Love it. Okay, let's pull out one more ancestral card, and then I want to share a couple of things with you guys as well. So this has been such a powerful, powerful time. One sec. Okay. Let's see what card we have for our ancestors. As soon as I say that, they pull it out. Okay. So we have 2 ones. Seer, see behind the situation. So this is exactly what I was talking about 15 minutes ago. About there's a lot of things in August that are going to be revealed for you to step into your power. And that ultimatum is going to be like, do you want to continue to be in control? Or are you going to use your voice? Are you going to speak through? So Sierra is saying psychic abilities, tuning into that. When we can find a space of breath and being, we can take that fire and air and we can tap into the seer. Okay, so that's really huge. I'm reading comments. I ask for a specific sign whenever my ancestors are around, and now I always feel their presence. Very interesting and very insightful. I'm very grateful for as it's no longer confusing. Amazing, because as soon as you let that control go of expecting them to be a certain way, and you just focus on yourself, they will just guide you and follow the way, knowing that you are the leader of your spirit. My grandmother comes to me as a crow. That's amazing. Crows are ancestors. They represent that, and they represent death as well. Protection, drop your shields. So again, remember when I talked about Leos, they tend to wear their heart on their sleeve. But when the Leo is in imbalance and they've been hurt in a relationship or they feel abandoned, that wound comes up for Leo, the Leo season. they put shields up and they think they're protecting themselves. And what they're actually doing is they're allowing this wall to go around them, and the energy of what they need to heal is surrounding them. And then it just takes a few triggers to crack, 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 crack the wall. So it's almost like having glass around you and you're thinking you're protecting yourself. And every time you get triggered, there's a nail that someone taps the glass. And eventually the glass will break, right? And that is when all of those lessons, all of those memories come into our field. So here it's saying protection guardian is really huge. It's saying know the difference between protecting and avoiding. So let's read this card. Drop any shields of shame, resistance, and fear that are standing between you and your chances of enjoyment and fun and happiness. Know that you don't need to hide who you are and your gifts to have what you are born to share in this world. So knowing that you don't need to hide who you are and how you are as a being, but most importantly, knowing that the more we can allow that energy of shame, resistance, and fear to welcome it, to explore it, to work through it. That's when we talk about doing shadow work, is working through it, sitting with it. The more clarity we can get so we can allow ourselves to tap into our gifts and our power and that fire energy. The protection guardian is the feminine version of Archangel Michael. So if anyone knows, Archangel Michael is the masculine version of a deep protection. And Archangel, it's funny because as I was talking to you guys earlier, Archangel Michael came into the space to protect their space. So it's interesting. She is fierce, protective, and yet living in warrior angel. So you who carries these indestructible shields of power, protection, and will come to all who call for her. She helps you drop the fear-based shields and move into a loving, protective forest field that will keep you safe, but will allow your gifts to shine through. So knowing that although she is here to guard from lower energies, she's completely relaxed, serene, confident because she trusts the love that will always prevail. So she's beautiful. I don't know if you see the card. Such a beautiful card. Call on to her if you need feminine guidance for this season. Let's tap into what happens when your North Node is in Leo. So, what you can do with each one, because knowing that this is where astrology gets much more complicated. There's the Vedic astrology, which is very different, and then there's the Western astrology, and there's various different ones. So my thought when you look at North nodes and all those, not to say that they're great to look up, but just knowing that your North node might be more complex than that. So even if you look at your Vedic and look at the North node of what the meaning of that in Leo and look at that in the Western, you will get more depth because the Western astrology is based on the time you were born and it doesn't change if any transits are in space. The Vedic is more aligned because the Vedic is where you tap into the space of like understanding where you are in transit. So for example, if Saturn or Jupiter is in transit, that's going to change your full reading and what you're experiencing. So it's more moving along with the changes of the collective and the cosmos, if that makes sense. So I just want to share that because that's coming up. I find a lot of people really define themselves by like their sun, their moon, certain signs, which, it's great to use. I think astrology is amazing. And this is where this aspect of the seer comes, have more deeper vision, not to attach yourself to a certain identity. That's coming up specifically for what I'm hearing with this question. Are you an air sign? So I am Sun, Scorpio, Moon, Leo, rising Capricorn. So those have some balance in this. No Capricorn, Sun, Sagittarius, Moon, Pisces, rising. That's awesome. Western astrology, my North Node is Aquarius, Gemini is Vedic. What does that mean? So I'm not going to do full personal readings here. But what I will say is your North Node is really important for soul expansion. So is your Chiron. So look at those two spaces on soul expansion. If you're into shadow work and healing, this is something that you want to look at. I only checked it out earlier this week and it really freaked me out. Again, finding peace and breathing into that in that perspective and knowing how I cannot define myself constantly with things. And that's a big, I want to share this because this is a big download that I'm receiving. I think a lot of us define ourselves by the title of our work, by the title of being a mother, by a woman, by a being, by whatever that you resonate with. We have to understand that at the end of the day, we are light. We are not specific titles. That's human. And yeah, it helps us move in this 3D world. But when we're doing a lot of healing and shadow work and we're trying to break through deeper layers, we have to understand and have a broader perspective of our being. So, really, in this Leo time, as you're rebuilding yourself, regenerating new beginnings, bless, woo, gesundheit, bless me. Tune into that. Okay, that's like really huge. I'm reading some more comments that are coming in. Wow, that's why I feel your vibe. I'm Scorpio sun, Leo rising, Cancer moon. Yeah, so that's probably why we resonate. Okay, Midwest. I get a lot of air animals and bees. I love bees. They're so beautiful. One of my favorites. My sun is in Aquarius. My Venus is in Capricorn. Ooh, your love's in Capricorn. Nice. Thank you. First and the four of Tauruses. I find there's a good balance of different types of signs. I've been reading just like when I ask you all what your signs are. I find there's a lot of fiery, a lot of water in our community. Some air too, but I've noticed there's a lot of fire and water, which is interesting. So those are those cards that are tuning in. I'm just listening to see if there's anything else, any other messages that I want to share with you. If there's any questions you have for me, please write them down in the comments. Couple things I want to share. So first is my September enrollment for my one-on-one is open. If you've been wanting to work with me one-on-one and you're serious about it, message me on Instagram or on email. And it's a very deep, potent space. My practice is shamanic practices, specifically from Peru, and a lot of indigenous native practices as well, and plant medicine. So that's a huge part I want to talk about more on here. Akashic, past life, karmic, breath work. Those are the spaces that I help the most. I've been initiated in Reiki. I'm a Reiki master as well. I do work with Reiki, but I honestly just use my own energy at this point. I sometimes still use it, but it's very rare that I will to rely on it as much. So again, if that's something that you're interested in, let me know. And I'm trying to see if there's any other things I wanted to share with you guys. Retreats. I'm so excited. There's so many retreats for this year. If you've been longing for connection, community, want to work with medicine, plant medicine, and want to heal, there are retreats for you. So Peru Goddess Retreat, tapping into your feminine. If you've been suppressing the feminine or don't know how to tune into your feminine, this retreat's for you. It's in Mancora, Peru, August 7th. I have the other rest and reset. This retreat intention is to reset your body, aesthetic dancing, medicine as well. And it's 2 nights. It's going to be at the end of September in Canada. And then we have the Awaken Healer. That one is going to be in Costa Rica. And it is going to be on the 21st. So if you are interested in that, let me know. And lastly, a place of my lands of my ancestor in St. Lucia, Caribbean. Those who don't know, that is my background. But I'm Canadian, raised first generation Canadian. I will be hosting a retreat in St. Lucia for ancestral healing. So connecting with your ancestors, connecting with your lineage, connecting with that alignment. Thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate it so much. If you've been longing, there's been a lot of ancestral talk in this whole chat. If you want to tap into it, it's a 7-night on the beautiful lands near the ocean in the jungle in St. Lucia on the island. It's going to be amazing. And yeah, it's going to be fun. It's land, my people. It's going to be fun. So if that's something that you're interested in, let me know. Questions that I'm hearing. What's your favorite manifesting ritual for new moon and one no months goes by without you doing. So for me, the number one thing is meditation and breath work. Those are the two rituals that I do the most on new moon. Another thing is I write down and I look at what intentions that I set for the last new moon and have they progressed? Do I feel aligned with them? If there's any resistance, working on some shadow work, healing with myself to reprogram and tapping into, what new intention I want to upgrade in myself. So those are the things that I do. I tune into what I did and then did it, where am I at with it? What happened in that time, that cycle. And I really do work with my period a lot too. So I notice like my period and how heavy it is and tuning into that. If it aligns with the new moon, it's asking me for like really resetting and fertility and, new beginnings and maybe grieving some beginnings as well. So that's kind of my rituals that I do off the top of my head all the time. There are others that I do, but I think those are the ones that I always do. And I'm also mindful of the energy of what things happen, who's interacting with me 3 days before the day of and 3 days after. What are some lessons? How are my emotions? What is triggered in my body? Those are all some new moon things that I do. For this Leo new moon, a great ritual to do is really tapping into self-confidence and love for yourself, tuning into your own self love. How do I love myself? Maybe there's things that I don't love. How can I tap into that and understand why I don't? That's going to be some great rituals for you for the new moon in Leo. What are your thoughts on ganja? So, ganja actually blocks your third eye. That's something that people don't know. So, I'm not saying that that plant doesn't have a place in plant medicine. I've worked with it in the past before, but what it's taught me is it can be easy to rely on it for anxiety and depression. And what it actually does is it blocks it. So I think that plant, from my perspective, is great to use topically once someone has advanced their third eye and expanded it and like they're on this journey. So it's great for chronic pain. It's amazing for what a friend told me, epilepsy as well. Do your research on that. I'm not a doctor. I'm just saying this out of experience. I won't have to share that. And it's also really great for just soothing the body on an external level without having your third eye blocked, essentially. So that's just something to consider. Uh, oh yeah, what are some herbs you would recommend to help curb smoking? Ganja. So there are some herbal herbs that are really great to use. There's a place called Amina Herbal. It's very well known. And they're the one that I've actually recommended to some people. And it's great to have if you are shifting from ganja. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. It's just flowers essentially, and they have medicinal. It helps you with lucid dreaming. It helps you with aligning your third eye. It will. You might purge a little bit, purging in the sense of like withdrawal, and your sleeping patterns might change because once you shift from that medicine. But that's a great one to shift. Your medicine and downloads come through so powerfully. Thank you for your light. Oh, thank you. I'd be honored to have you as a guest on the Wolf podcast. Message me if you are interested in collaborating. Yes, email me and I can see if it aligns. I so appreciate you and your insight. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you all and your truth. I had to stop smoking because I felt depleted. Yeah, that's a huge thing too. It shifts our motivation. We don't really have much motivation. We're in that state of on a lapse because we feel this disconnection of vision, of seeing in our intuition. And I find a lot of people feel this reliance on it. So I'm happy that you are in transition of shifting at this time of your journey. It did help me with anxiety, but I stopped now because of self-control in regards of depression, anxiety. Yeah, and I also want to know that I know people say ganja is great for depression, anxiety, but knowing that every medicine isn't for you. This goes for all medicines, not just ganja, because a lot of people will tell me they're like, Shika, like this medicine, I really want to work with this medicine. I really want to work with this one or whatever. And I always say, always, always, always say, I'm like, know what medicine's best for you. I had a friend that came to me and said, Chica, when I use it, it makes me anxious and I don't know what to do. I get panic attacks. And I actually just gave them like a food recipe, a drink recipe called golden milk, and it worked for them. And they were like, oh, now I don't have any craving to use ganja. So I'm not saying that everyone should go have golden milk because that's going to work for them. It's a Ayurvedic recipe, but it look at what works for you, just like this spiritual path. And that's why when I do healing and shadow work with people, and why I work with so many different lineages and spaces for the same intention, is because I know that not every method is going to work for every person when they're doing healing. So what works for you won't work for the other. Keep that in mind. Do you know anything about menstruation cycles and how different the moon phase is? So I actually did a video on this, Reiki Panda, on the cycles. So you can go check it out on periods. And I go over the new moon, the full moon, and how I work with it. And I can give you more information. So is that an oil to put on your body? Can you clarify what you're talking about with the oil? I feel like it opens me up deeper in connection of myself. My husband has epilepsy and uses it, but doesn't really prevent. Yeah. So again, this is an example where we have a plant that is recommended, but it doesn't work for someone. We have to also understand that every disease is um, manifested through the spirit in a different way, right? So, for example, my partner also has some things that there are other medicines that don't work for them. It doesn't work for them, and that's just something to consider. Like it won't work for you. So find that. And I will say that there are many medicines in the Amazon that help with those things as well, that are not psychedelic. I relate to the depletion and its struggles and to break. Thanks so much for the resource and sending much love. Thank you. I'm receiving it. I need to shift my usage on, and I love it, but spirit has been telling me to chill. Yeah, and then there's a reliance too. This is another big thing to check in. I just want to share this as like a collective message. What things are you relying on? We're talking about food, we're talking about ganja, we're talking about anything. Like in your habits, has there been something you've been maybe leaning on a little too much? So I think that's really big. What was the first resource of plant medicine that helped you with your transition? Honestly, my body didn't want it anymore. I remember the first time I took it, I vomited right away. And I was like, and spirit said, no more, no more. Because my vibration at the time when I did it, I was relying on it and I was doing it for different means. And then once I healed that with shadow work through other methods, it was like that medicine no longer needed to serve me. Um, I've been given like an oil or lotion for like cramps, and I love that, but I don't take it. If anything, I barely use it. So thank you for writing it down. Yeah, that's a really good herbal apothecary for floral smoking. Thank you so much. Thanks for insight. No worries. So happy to support. So yeah, that is the live. I'm so happy I got to chat with you guys. It was such a beautiful journey and expansive, and um, yeah, I'm just so grateful. I'm still landing, and I'm in Cusco still and just tuning into all of that. And I'm just really excited for what's to come. There's a lot of beautiful things and offerings I'm going to be giving to community here, um, with the retreats and the one-on-one. So again, if you're interested or you want to learn more, message me. I'm here to help. Um, if anyone wants, you feel this message would help them, send this video to a friend. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, put notification bell so you don't miss a video. And my next video is going to be on my plant medicine blog. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be really powerful and very vulnerable, like really vulnerable. Part of you was like, should I post this? I'm like, Shika, be in your truth. So I'm posting some very vulnerable content coming up. And I think a lot of you will resonate with some of the lessons that I've experienced and shared, which is great. I might be yeah, that as well. That's a good point. Wishing you all an amazing, amazing weekend and day. And I hope you have an amazing Leo new moon again. Check out the videos on the meditation and also the energy update to help you out. And I will talk to you all so much. Love and light and protection. Bye.